Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This of course is another anime reaction video. Today, we are reacting to some more Haikyuu to the top. Really excited to get into this next episode because we're actively going up against Inarizaki right now as we speak, and I'm so excited to get more into this because we're finally getting back into the really hype, important matches for this season. Which is insane because we're about at the halfway point or so. So just I'm really excited to get to the second half of this season, see what goes on. But what I'm really not excited for is because there's no way we're going through the entirety of nationals in this season. So I'm just scared for if it's gonna end up being on like a massive cliffhanger, because that's really gonna suck. But that all being said, as always, unless you're new here, links down in the description below will take you to the full-length uncut reaction. You can go there, watch the reaction, come back to YouTube for the discussion. Also, if you enjoy Haikyuu, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single upload in the future. It also helps me to know if you want to see more of these videos in the future. With that all being said, let's get started with episode 16, I think? Yeah, 16 of Haikyuu to the top. Alright. These were two really great episodes. I'm still on the fence on whether or not I think this whole... I'm definitely all for Tanaka development, but I'm just so on the fence about about the fact that it's a romance thing, on whether or not that's like a good idea. And I mean, obviously it's working because I'm really feeling for Tanaka, and I really want him to succeed. But again, it just kind of felt shoehorned in, just introduce this new character that is new potential love interest for Tanaka, and then first of all, and now it's seeming like they might drop the plot point entirely. Like, I'm sure she'll show up eventually in the future, but it seems like even though Tanaka, to my knowledge, hasn't even made up his mind on what exactly he wants to do, if he wants to stick to pursuing someone that he has very low chance of actually getting, or just going with somebody who he has a pretty much guaranteed chance to go with, even though he potentially doesn't feel the same way about her that he does for the girl that he has like no chance with. But then like there's that scene of her at the end where she's like, I think I definitely had my heart broken. That could either be like her saying my heart was broken and I'm giving up, or it could just be like my heart was broken and it's gonna take time for that to heal, but I'm still open to it and I'll still try type thing. I don't know. Again, I love the Tanaka development because that was always something. I don't remember when it happened, but I'm pretty sure that happened before, where like they were saying, oh, number 5, that Tanaka guy, he's got to be feeling really down in the dumps over this, but then he like comes back up to be really like hyped and cheered up or whatever. And that's always kind of been part of it, who he is that he's never one to be down for very long. And so just seeing him having that, going through that once again, where he's like he's feeling down, but he picks himself back up, but then getting more context into sort of why he feels that way, and his feelings that he's had for himself over his lifetime. It's been really nice, and I kind of like how they interweaved it in some areas with Tanaka's influence on the girl's life. I forget her name, unfortunately, but it was nice because whether Tanaka realizes it or not, he does influence people a lot. You know, even like on his team, obviously, but of course, even people outside of his team that again, that he doesn't remember. Kanoka, yeah, okay, her name is Kanoka. So, I'm really interested to see what she's potentially gonna be doing in the future, if anything at all. And then the second episode, which, again, I didn't like it as much. I like Nekoma, but mostly I like them as like a rival to Karasuno, and it'll be really good to see them going up against Karasuno in the future. I don't know if it'll be this season, I don't know if I'll have to wait for a potential next season, but either way, I'm glad that they're setting this up now because I mentioned it way before, but in the earlier this season, but one of the biggest like worries I had for this season was that they wouldn't have enough time to properly get you invested in the emotional like climax of the season, that being the final match of the season. But that's sort of what they're doing now, is they're taking a previously established Nekoma, which we already have an emotional investment in, and then adding extra emotional investment on by not only exploring the past of Kenma, who's probably one of, if not the most important players on the team in terms of like the emotional feelings the viewer has for both Karasuno and Nekoma's like rivalry. But they're also giving some more development to Tora, who was introduced as Tanaka but on Nekoma's team, and just seeing him also being a parallel in their backstories with Tanaka is also really interesting, where they're average but they work hard and they're sort of jealous of how talented the other people are. So I think that's a really interesting sort of like comparison to draw between the two of them, and I'm really excited to see if there's going to be any sort of like in the future like mentioning of that, just like even as like a passing joke, just like, man, Tanaka and Tora, you guys are really like the same person. And I don't know, but that's pretty much all I had to say for this episode. With that all being said, wait, that's pretty much all I had to say about this episode. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single upload in the future. Thank you once again for watching. Peace.